Yeah. All right.
Welcome to our second YouTube video. We said it wouldn't be this long in between, but it has been. Technical difficulties.
We've had a few attempts.
All right, we're
Half of
gonna.
Australia's burning down.
Yeah, pretty much. What are we going through this week, lads? Team of the decade.
Yes.
EPL.
2009
2010 to 2019, 20. Yeah.
Till now.
So
Now.
we'll start with the goalkeeper. Start down there.
Shall I start?
All right, you name yours first.
I'll go mine because I love my goalkeeper, Joe Hart. Absolute Don. Just a cool cat.
He wouldn't get any many, but the ones that he gets in, he'll do a job for you.
Yeah. Do love Joe Hart. Yeah.
For the earlier years, yeah.
Yeah.
He's dropped off quite significantly.
And is he at Burnley now? Yeah.
That's what it's a hard point to make, though, isn't it? Do you put someone in who had a stellar few years and then they've dropped off, or do they have to be doing it for 10 years? You know what I mean? Like,
Why it's so
There's
hard?
not many players
No.
in this day and age. There's not many players that
Do
start
it.
staying for 10 years at one club. There's no one.
Wayne
Campo?
Rooney.
Okay, coming up. He's coming up. To
we're
10
not talking
years.
about strikers yet, mate.
Sorry,
You gotta-
In this decade, he did play for Leicester. Thank you very much. On
And
loan.
I'm going to say my keeper was De Gea. Just basically, he won United second place on his own, pretty much, with that defence.
I'm gonna have to go De Gea too.
Started shaky, though.
He
First 2
started-
years was very iffy, making a lot of mistakes, but
Did become the best goalkeeper in the
and
world.
he's still at United to the day and still playing well.
And yeah, he's made player of or goalkeeper of the year for
Number of
4
years.
years, I think it was.
Well, as Kivo wanted to do, change it up a bit. I'm going to chuck in Petr Cech,
Yeah.
Chelsea boy.
That's a more reasonable than
But
Gerrard.
again, dropped off considerably when he went to Arsenal. So
I don't think he dropped off. I think it's just the shithouse defence in front of him.
Yeah, I think it happens when you go to Arsenal. You tend to drop off.
it's hard though because a lot of that like Chelsea team that I've got a few of them in here, they peaked towards the end of last decade.
But there's nothing more iconic
But-
in the Prem than a Petr Cech helmet. You
Exactly
know?
right.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
no
the most
doubt.
iconic.
No doubt.
You got to love the helmet.
Right. Well, 2-1 and 1. So we'll go with De Gea in goal.
Majority rules.
So
Majority
it's how-
Unless there's a
we'll
fight.
Start with the right back.
I
Ivo.
went not too many. It was
Yeah, there's not
Kyle
too
Walker,
many.
Maybe I went for a Spiliqueta.
Yeah.
Did I nail that pronunciation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, I'll lock in Kyle Walker
You can
in this one.
you can pop in Aspilicueta left or right back though because
Yeah.
you just shift on both sides. So it's up to you where you want to put him.
Yeah, I'm going Kyle Walker.
Kyle
just for
Walker.
His
And
pace.
He
and
did it at
stuff.
Spurs for a
Pace,
while.
he was
so-
quick, so
But he did. He got in. He was more attacking than Aspi. He was.
He's more interesting to put in your team. Whereas Spiliqueta's a bit
dull, but he did
dull,
it. He
but
did it. Though.
does a good job.
Yeah.
it was a.
And he's won the league, so
And he's still doing it.
So it's Kyle
Oh,
Walker.
so was Kyle Walker to be fair.
One twice.
at City.
A few
though.
years,
At
yeah.
City,
All right, well,
Not Spurs.
Consider a mention for both of them.
here we go. Here's the biased opinion. Trent Alexander-Arnold.
How old is he? Like 21. He's been doing it for what, 1 year?
And who has the most assists for a defender of all time?
But,
All time.
okay,
I
but
must
that's
say. All time.
So chuck him in as a right winger then if you're talking assists.
But that's what we're saying. 2010, you don't have attacking minded.
No, but that's what I mean.
Gareth Bale developed
No,
that. Yep.
but that's so. How are you going to put him over the likes of Aspilicueta or Kyle Walker, who didn't get the assist because it's a generalisation thing?
I'm
Defenders
not throwing him in
did
over Aspie. We have another position to play, but
No, over Kyle Walker or
I do. Well, look, you look at now at Kyle Walker. Pep had some faith, but it's shown he doesn't have entirety of faith.
If you're
in
going to
him.
play a team for next decade and you could start all those names fresh, you'd pick Trent.
yeah. If you start the next
He plays the
decade
modern
this
game.
year, yeah, exactly right.
But
he's had 3 seasons though.
And he's had.
two.
So, did he even play in his first year?
Yeah.
What, 2 games?
No, he played a bit more than that.
Come off the bench a few times. No, I understand what you're saying, but it's a generalisation thing. Like defenders of this age, their role is to get
Wing
forward,
back.
Yeah.
provide so much support. Whereas 5 years ago, that wasn't the case.
I know it's not the. And I know you're saying. I know what you're saying with the defence wise. He's a little bit, but
I just don't think he's
Next
done it
decade,
long
he's
enough.
100%
Yeah.
going to be my right back.
Oh,
'cause-
him and Andy are getting in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got
but
that.
if you made a team to play back then, you could still put Trent in there purely off the fact what he can do because you know exactly how much chaos he could cause back then.
Okay. No,
No one else is going to pick Trent, so he's not an out.
it's an opinion thing.
And
So
I'm happy with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm
Unless
going to
you're-
go with Branislav Ivanovic. Just to throw you
I
off.
think we're throwing Trent in there over that.
The man was an absolute don for a number of years, but then dropped. Well, he left.
I'm changing mine to Kyle Walker, so Kyle Walker's in.
All right, well,
Yep.
I'm happy with that. I just wanted to make sure Trent didn't get in, to be honest.
Who plays for England?
Kyle Walker. Kieran Trippier.
Right.
Caterers.
Left or right centre back, whichever way. Oh, actually, no,
Both
we'll
are
go
both in.
We're just going centre backs. We're
'Cause I
just.
feel like they're
right,
gonna be
centre back
similar.
straight
I
away.
think we've already got one.
Well,
locked
I've
down.
got Vincent Company.
We can all agree on company. There's no doubt about it.
Company
The
is-
man did it for a long number
Captain
of years.
Marvel.
Yep.
Captain Fantastic.
Won
whatever he is.
a few
Captain
prems.
A few.
Yeah.
We've won.
A few.
Yeah. I don't know how many.
Three, I
Three.
think.
It's three. Yeah.
And then also
That's enough.
just did it for him,
That's
didn't he?
of the 10 years, that's still a majority.
Second left, like other left back, centre back is a bit hard.
Yeah, we
I think
could
we'll
have
have a few opinions here.
I'm going John Terry.
Well, I've also gone John.
I'm
Terry.
also going John Terry.
Well,
And I know who he's going.
better not be Virgil.
Oh, I thought he was going Virgil, to be fair.
Who have you got?
So if you're going Trent, how are you not going Virgil? If it's only like based off 2 years?
Because Virgil.
There's less
You take a
competition.
Southampton Virgil. You don't.
No.
You do, 'cause
But
he's
I'm
a great
saying,
player.
you're-
No, I
I'm
see that
saying
back
2
there.
years at Liverpool.
You can, yes, but we're talking. I think John Terry, purely off his leadership, was better.
Yeah.
Don.
If you're comparing him to Rio or Vidic, I think he left, like he sort of passed the torch better at Chelsea than those two did at United. So that's what I've
They
got in
just
mind.
got the torch and just,
Yeah,
they just did like the bridal thing, just throw it behind him and hope someone's going to catch it.
Yeah, Terry sort of
Passed
left
it gently to
what
the
you
likes of
expect
Gary
from a
Cahill.
captain. And, he did it right, so that's why he got picked over the other two for me. After the same player.
Take nothing away from Van Dijk. He's a great defender.
Oh, he'll
but
make most of that
Next
Liverpool
year.
team will make the next decade. There's no
Not mine.
doubt about it.
Not mine.
Well, no.
Snake. It's got no spine.
All right.
I threw Trent in there purely because no matter what year, an attacking-minded right back will dominate the Prem. No matter what year you throw it at, even
Okay.
like now.
So
in
that
the
brings
age
us into left back. Are you picking Andy Robertson?
no.
Oh,
But
Has
they're
to be.
the exact same player.
I know they're the exact same player. I do know that.
So who are you picking?
Aspie.
Okay, so I had Aspie as
Oh,
left back.
okay. I've gone Leighton Baines.
Shout.
He's a
Yeah.
shout. I did bring him up.
See, I didn't know what left back to pick, so I went for a centre back that's been consistent for the past 10 years.
Yeah, go with
I've
that.
gone Jan Vertonghen.
Nah, sorry.
Look, he hasn't won anything,
No, I understand what you're saying.
but his leadership for Spurs for the past 10 years has been top quality. He's been our best defender for 10 years.
He hasn't had much to compete with.
He has played a little bit of left back, to be fair.
And for Belgium, he is a left back.
Okay, so we're doing a Spurs team of the decade here.
Yeah.
So he'd be in there for sure. But
Surprised Danny Rose is in there.
he'd be in the bin.
Well, this is the other question of, Bale.
No, because he's not left back, is he? He was.
He started there,
He
but I
was.
think as it turned to the decade, he played more as a winger.
Yeah.
He was the original attacking left back.
Yeah, but he didn't even do it for like a full season there. He did it for like until he played Inter Milan, and then as soon as he played Inter Milan, they're like, all right, you can go play higher up, mate.
You got quality, get up the field. And
Yeah,
score
but that's
goals.
purely off the fact that
The rest of the team sucked.
exactly. He was the best attack they had, and he was at left back.
I reckon we're going to agree on Aspie, just purely because of the
Yeah.
2-1 rule. All right, moving to the mids. There's a few we surely can definitely agree on.
I think we can almost have an exact
I'm going to start
three,
with
yeah.
Kante.
Can't tell.
Back-to-back Prems,
Kante.
still doing it today.
Did it
with
with
Kante.
Yeah, pretty much
A team that
won
have
less
no
of the
one.
title almost. And then obviously just been doing it today. We can all agree on that.
and even to this day he still
Yep.
carries that.
And I
trophy
reckon we
team.
can all agree on the next one. Yaya Toure.
Oh,
Absolute
yeah.
Don.
The goat.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
Filthy.
Phenomenal.
He'd make the team of the fucking century.
What a lad.
Right.
Yeah, love
That
that.
one's easy.
All right,
Yeah.
Givo, who's your... Well, we're playing a 4-3-3, aren't
Yeah.
we? That's what we're playing.
Arguably the best formation of the decade.
The most... Yes.
Maybe
Yeah,
a
it's the most used,
4-4-2.
yeah.
Yeah, that's last decade.
no,
That's Burnley's decade.
They're still playing like that.
Still
Yeah.
playing that shit.
All right. Givo, I'm going to ask you your next one then.
All right,
if you're
mine
playing-
is slightly controversial, and I don't think any of you like it, but I've gone for Mesut Ozil.
Okay. It's definitely controversial.
Yes and no. purely off the fact that David Silva has done the same thing and done it longer.
Yeah, if you're chucking Mesut Ozil in there, I better be hearing Alexis Sanchez in there as well, because he had just as much impact, if not more, at Arsenal.
I think
Somewhat.
Sanchez's only downfall has how bad he turned into.
There's better left wingers out there than Sanchez's peak.
Yeah,
in that
right.
decade. Well,
But back to Ozil then, he
Yeah.
still makes the team of the decade.
Yeah.
Over the likes of David Silva or Kevin De Bruyne or...
Yeah, I think his peak, he just sort of just something about him. I just like him. Yeah.
Okay, nothing wrong
Probably
with that.
biased there, but yeah,
I think
he's a top player.
David Silva. I've gone David Silva.
Yeah. I've also gone David Silva.
I've gone David Silva.
Oh.
His movement.
Shock, Mesut Ozil's on the bench.
His
Is
movement.
Emery the coach of the decade, or?
Well, he's up there. He's got a great win ratio of 2.
Right, so that's our midfield. Would have Toure, David Silva, and Kante. Absolute dominance there.
You could win the Premier just with those 3.
You would not lose the ball in that team.
No.
And if you did, you'd have it back in about 4 seconds.
Yeah. All right, moving forward, we'll start with like the wingers.
Should we start right?
Campo, I'm going to let you
Left
start.
side?
Yeah, well, either or, because I've got
But this
2
is a game
strikers
whether
and a
we
winger.
play-
So do I.
I think we're just going to have to go forwards.
Yeah, so we'll just say forwards. All right, so Campo,
I've
who's
gone
your?
Hazard for the left wing.
I've also gone Hazard.
I have too.
About 7 years or so in the
Yeah.
with Chelsea.
He's
Maybe the stats don't truly reflect the player he was, but
He's a case for longevity over like a one peak season.
yeah, because you look at the likes of him, maybe compare it against Salah or Mane, like they're 1 seasons or 2 seasons number of goals, but in
And
terms
they
of the
play for
player,
Liverpool.
they are.
And I wasn't putting a Liverpool player in.
No, I don't think I've got any in there actually. No, I don't. Thank
You're
you.
overlooking Mane though.
Are we?
No, we're not.
Sorry, what record does he have for Southampton?
He's got the fastest hat trick.
Exactly.
We're not on the fastest hat trick.
I'm not saying that though, but he equaled, Golden Boot last year.
If we're talking
He
records,
equaled that-
Shane Long has the fastest goal in Premier
Yeah.
League history. So
He's a shout for him and Charlie Austin. Put him up top.
no,
I'm not talking about the record. I'm purely basing off the fact that he did it at Southampton. He's doing it for Liverpool now. What more?
Yeah, but even when he did it at Southampton, it wasn't like doing it.
he wasn't getting 20.
Yeah,
It wasn't.
he was doing it because he was at Southampton. No
Yeah.
offense to Southampton, but
Yeah.
like,
He was doing it at Southampton. He was. That's why we bought him.
Stole him.
so you're going with Mane.
I'm
Bastards.
going to have to go.
Yeah, it's a fair shout. Like, it's
So you go
it's
with
not-
Mane over Salah.
He's equaling, goal scoring feats without taking a single pen.
Okay.
All his records are from. He is.
He's definitely up there. Like, he's not off world class.
No,
But I've
he's
gone-
definitely world class.
I've gone off just Hazard just for longevity. I
Yeah.
think he was a bit more iconic at Chelsea than Mane is at Liverpool.
Yeah, cool. All right,
And
I'm going to start.
Hazard did shine when he did win a lot at Chelsea as well.
Yeah.
Yes, number of things. Right, well, I'm going to go into the next one. I'm going to say Aguero.
Aguero. Yep.
Yes, he was injury prone for a lot of his career, but
And
you
he still
can't deny.
He still managed to score
You
20 goals a season.
yeah, you cannot deny his class and
And
ability.
he has that most iconic EPL moment. Oh,
Oh, yeah. Just give him a team of the season just for that. Team of the year.
Yeah, I've gone Aguero.
I've gone Van Persie.
A
You've
good
also
shout.
gone Aguero
A
there.
very good shout.
Yeah, I didn't.
I don't mind Van Persie. If
Yeah.
I had to pick a bench, he'd definitely make it.
Yeah, I didn't know you were all going Aguero, so I just looked like the odd one out.
Oh, we've got to throw through
Yeah.
left wings in there, just like Morty's been doing.
Ozil on the bench. Oh,
Right, and then moving on to the final position, I'm going to say Harry Kane.
I've also gone Harry Kane.
You can't deny that the bloke's got 170 odd Premier League goals this decade,
He's the only one that has a chance of beating Alan Shearer, in my opinion.
and he will.
it's just another record that means nothing really. Put Shane Long in that category. By unnecessary record.
I mean, it's not unnecessary. It's how many?
It's peak longevity. Like, you can't get more longevity than that.
Yeah, but that is definition of like a
Yeah.
striker of the decade.
That would
Whereas
be.
if you're taking like a peak stat, you'd say Jamie Vardy's 11 goals in a row in 11 games. But that's just like a peak stat.
Where Kane's averaging 30 goals a season for.
He's not averaging 30.
We got.
What's he-
25.
Well, he's got the most goals in the calendar year until he broke that record. I don't know if Salah took it off him
How
though.
many Salah took? How many was it?
50 something. 50.
How many Salah got? 50?
I'm still chucking him in there. He still makes it.
Yeah, I've got Kane.
I've got Van Persie now.
Oh.
Do you change?
So we could have had.
No, this is
Oh,
this
you-
is my third forward.
okay, you still
Van
have
Persie
him.
is my third forward.
Okay.
I've gone for another Spur, Gareth Bale.
Yes, good shout.
He's a good shout.
Was
yes.
a good shout. He did do a lot.
It's just
on his
unstoppable.
Own. Yeah. a lot of.
I can understand.
Iconic
Yeah, I can understand why you'd throw him in the mix because he had a couple great years when he's playing higher up, and then also when he came onto the scene, he lit it up.
Pretty did carry.
And he come from Southampton as well. No surprise why you put him in there.
Players do.
Did carry that team to Champions League every year just by himself, literally.
The Spurs.
Yeah.
I was going to say
If
we
we're
haven't
talking
been.
about carrying a team, then you got to throw Suarez in there.
Yes, but then I
But
thought.
then why are you not throwing Daniel Sturridge in there? He was just as important that year.
I think Sturridge has suffered from the fact that he's continued in the Premier and suffered dramatically. Whereas Suarez, yes, he moved to Barca, but he's still scoring week in, week
Yeah.
out.
I was comparing Aguero and Suarez, and I thought Aguero just gets it because he's more iconic in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So who would you have as a 12th man? Like a
No, we'll name a little bench. We'll name a.
Well,
Quick little bench.
Ozil has to be on there because
Well, he owns
that's
that
somewhere.
bench.
All right, we'll put this out. Who is the player you bring on to change the game?
Ooh,
Kevin De Bruyne.
fair
Yeah,
shout.
can see why you put him in there.
I think this is where you throw Bale in.
I was thinking that Bale,
Yeah, I'd probably have to say Bale at this
Gareth
point.
Bale, or I'll go Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, but he wasn't really this decade.
Yeah,
He
that's-
didn't set the water like this decade.
He sort of peaked early on, not peaked, but he was still continuing.
Yeah, but if you're going to put him in, he would make that
He's
decade.
very you got Bale or Rooney.
Bale or Rooney.
I just like Rooney a lot.
I'd probably say Bale or Van Persie, but he makes your teams, so.
All right. Maybe, all right, next one, play the squad player of the decade.
He just wants to throw Milner in there.
Milner.
James Milner.
James Milner.
I'd say John Obi McCall every day of the week.
Bring
How's
him on
that
to get the
not
job
in?
done.
But what other player can say you can play him at left back, you play him at right back, you can play him at...
Oh, there's nothing wrong. I don't disagree with you
Mr.
throwing him in
Sissoko.
there, but back to the
Play
Spurs
every
team of the decade.
He's good. Trust me. Under Mourinho, he's
I swear to God, you threw him in the bin about 4 times this
No, not this one. That was Danny Rose.
No, I think you threw him in there with him.
Right, well,
manager
I reckon
of
we've
the
put
decade?
together quite a tasty team of the decade that would go on to win many
Yeah,
things.
I think it'd rival the Invincibles, that one.
Well, you're almost taking a player from each of those teams, so... Yeah, they go unbeaten for sure.
Who's manager of the decade?
Pep.
Good Pep.
This decade, yeah, it has to be Pep, I think.
Who
If
have we
you even
got?
dare say Klopp, I swear to God.
Who else have we got? We got Wenger in there for a little bit as well.
He didn't win anything.
What about Jose?
Didn't win enough this decade.
Here's the argument for
Oh,
Wenger is
2 prems,
he
actually.
kept that shit team in Champions League for how many of those seasons?
Nah, it's not enough to get. That was back when he was the 4th team.
Yeah, I know, but that wasn't that long ago. Of the 10
So you're
years,
saying
it
the
was-
best manager of the decade, his best accolade was
this
to
is where-
get a team Champions League football every year.
But this is where you're throwing in, like, if you want to say Pep, then how much money do you want to throw in the team?
Yeah, but look what he did with that.
Yeah, it could be so circumstances could be. So you could
Circumstances
be,
are a big factor.
Yeah.
So you could go Claudio Ranieri for getting.
Yeah.
Right, well, if that's the case then. Based on spending money, I'm going to say Jose because he's spent money, but he's won Champions League in the past, but also won Prems with this money he's spent. Whereas Pep,
Yes.
his ultimate goal was to win the Champions League, and he hasn't done
Yet.
it yet. We probably should re-update this in.
Well, Spurs could win the Premier League. For all we know.
Champions League.
That's just. Can we bleep that out? Don't want that.
Yeah, that's
I
getting
don't know, I
cut.
just-
Yeah.
I think the argument against Pep is just purely that you look at the season he's having now, he's had, one defining injury and it's thrown his whole league out the door. Whereas, I don't know, other teams, they're copping injuries
Brendan
left, right,
Rodgers.
It could be a shout, to be honest with you. Didn't get a Prem, but he's still
He carried,
Nah,
he carried
not
some-
enough. I think hasn't been doing it long enough.
safe option is Pep. I think he's got the most titles in the decade.
He's won every time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll say
He's bought every title.
that's all right though.
Claudio Ranieri.
Got to have the money to do so. All right, well, that's going to wrap up our team of the decade. Feel free to comment below what you reckon. If you disagree
Comment
with any
your teams down.
if you disagree with any of Morty's claims, which I'm sure we all do,
What is this?
Pookie
and
wasn't in there.
leave a comment if you have any other
Top
topics.
manager of the decade.
If you have any other topics for us to follow and cover.
Beautiful.
Cool. Peace.
Peace.
Catches.
Cut it. Cut it. You need to cut it. Cool. And then we get into the podcast. podcast.
Into the podcast.